Hi there, I'm Andrew, you're watching ThatGamerAjax, and this is the first of the basic series for the game Veil of the Void. Now, Veil of the Void is a science fiction role-playing game that has a wide variety of classes and races that you can play. I want to know that we've discussed the races a little bit, so if you are new to the game and you are wanting to dive right in, let's go ahead and talk about the Combat Medic. Now, of all the classes available in this game, the Combat Medic is the only one that solely focuses on being a healer. Now, don't let this deceive you though. This class is capable of packing an absolute wallop given the right time and, really if you're just keeping an eye on your abilities. So let's dive into what this class has available to it. Now, starting with some of the strengths, the Combat Medic is going to be the best healer in the game. Now, there are a couple of other classes that have access to some healing spells, and everybody's able to use healing items, though there are some restrictions in place that make it so you can only be healed twice per day. The Combat Medic is able to ignore this and can use these items 3 times per day, which already kind of gives it a leg up compared to the other classes if you choose to play them. Combat Medics are also able to add their mentality score, which if you play Dungeons & Dragons, it would be the equivalent of your intelligence modifier whenever you heal somebody. So this allows you to heal better than any of the other classes in the game. Now, as I mentioned before, the Combat Medic is also able to absolutely pack a punch because whenever you successfully hit something with a dedicated medical weapon, you start to store up a certain amount of health that you can either distribute to your ally, or if you decide to overcharge your weapon at any given point, you can expend all that extra health as bonus damage instead, meaning that you are able to absolutely hit something for an insane amount of damage if you keep a fight going long enough. The Combat Medic is also an insanely versatile class in this game. You have Specializations, which would be almost kind of the archetype that you get when you hit level 5. Now, among this, you have the damage-dealing Sawbones, which focuses on a strong offense at being the best defense. Tactician, which focuses on giving your allies kind of passive buffs and allows you to kind of identify allies that are in need of aid and kind of telling them what to do. And then you're able to provide a lot of healing, buffs through combat and shields by playing the Contentious Objector. Now, in terms of weaknesses for the Combat Medic, this is a class that you definitely want to play at around that mid to long range. You don't really want to be up in the thick of things because you don't really have any skills that are dedicated to being a melee class unless you decide to train up for it, which is how this game works, or you choose the Sawbones specialization. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are those limits on healing items and skills throughout the game. Now, while the Medic is able to kind of push through that and can do 3 rather than the 2 that all the other classes are limited to, you still have a limit on how much healing you can give across any given day. And unfortunately, one of the major downsides to the Combat Medic class is that it is relatively easy to hit. You're limited to only being able to wear a medium armor class at the highest, which means that if an enemy is going to be rolling against you, you only need to get a grand total of 3 successes for you to be hit. Because of this, positioning is going to be more important than ever while playing this relatively squishy class. So in conclusion, Combat Medic is a great pick if you want to play the kind of healer character for your party. Now, this isn't something that you need to discuss beforehand, but it has a lot of options and a lot of versatility for how it plays. This is definitely one of those classes that gets strong the longer a campaign goes, so I'd highly recommend this if you want to play a healer. So we'll continue talking about some of the other classes in Veil of the Void, but I'd highly recommend checking out a couple of my other videos up here first, just so we can know a little bit more about what this game is and some of the races that are available to it. So, we'll see you next time.